have you seen evidence, or can you conceive of a situation where staff may not trust their trust, and that then leads to a patient safety incident because of a failure of decon or whatever it might be? Can that lack of trust lead to a performance problem, the ability of people to do their job?
I'm not sure fundamentally there is that particular problem there. I think a particular feature of our project has been that it's obviously it's a transfer of staff model, so staff are transferring. There almost gets to a point where there are arrangements made between the services provider and the trust that staff, if they transfer, will there'll be the benefits will transfer over. In some cases, some of the providers are paying retention bonuses and things like that. But there's almost an inherent thing that, well, it's a change issue, and I'm worried about change because I'm not sure that I'm going to get everything that I'm due to it. And I think the worry is, from our point of view, was always a worry that staff wouldn't transfer because they either wanted to be part of the bigger NHS picture, and that's where they saw they were moving out from the NHS, or that they just thought, well, we've got very secure jobs here in the NHS, and why would we want to move to the private sector where things are not so secure? And in some ways, you try to reassure staff by the very fact, these contracts are 15-year contracts. Staff is the lifeblood of this service. You need those staff to be able to deliver the service. You can't deliver this service without staff. Your jobs are there for 15 years if you transfer. I don't think there's anywhere secure in the NHS anymore that you can say, I've got a job for life like people used to do when they went into the NHS. But I think people still have this trust issue with change. And it's not that they don't trust particularly people, I think, themselves. I think it's a worry more about change and whether they trust change itself.
So is it that we do not handle change well then in the NHS, or change management either way? And the ones who, this morning we heard that there were from Andrew Pearson, that there are a number of trusts that are performing very well. Do we think it's because they handle change better? Where is the lady who commented when you were speaking? Does she wish to step in and ask, yes, do you wish to, any comments about why you think this problem happened again?
I have no idea why this problem happened again. I do know I'm from Bournemouth. My name is Sarah Keeley, and I'm from Bournemouth. And in Bournemouth earlier this year, there was exactly the same thing happened again, that our dentist, the first I heard of it was I got a letter through the post saying that our dentist hadn't been sterilising his equipment, and me and my 2 children were at risk of various hepatitis, HIV, and we all had to go for blood testing. And it was very worrying. Did I trust my trust? Actually, I think the trust dealt with it very well. Bournemouth and Poole PCT actually dealt with it very well once they were alerted to the problem. So, yeah, I think I probably would trust my trust. They did deal with it. So
that's very good.
Could I come in here about trust?
Yes.
That basically you trusted the dentist as well. And that trust was misplaced. And this is a point I make in my E. coli report. I know it's peripheral to hospital-acquired infection, but there, the butcher who was at fault was telling lies to the inspectors. I mean, he went to prison, and that was a problem because they trusted him, despite the fact that he was not to be trusted. And I think this comes back to the technical background that maybe the dentist didn't realise the problem that he was causing, and that's part of the issue with food safety as well, that people are ignorant of the technical side, and that's a scandal because the technical side is pretty straightforward. You know how to kill these pathogens, you know that they kill people themselves, etc., etc. So I think there's a problem, and certainly I've been on a hobby horse for a long time about training people in the basic background microbiology, not the sort of scientific microbiology, but just the basic issues there. Unless we get that information into everybody's heads in a way which they can then use in a practical sense, we're doomed to go on with these issues where, in fact, we will not trust people because they won't be able to show, because they're ignorant, that they actually are to be trusted. And trust has to be earned. Trust has to be earned. And people should put themselves in a position where they can earn the trust by having that technical background.